Good morning. I want to talk about Tony Dattino, founder of the USA Memory Championship, excited to talk about the March issue of UCLA's Healthy Years. And I found an interesting article as I was reading it that talked about how do we continue to move more, and regardless of our age. They always talk about these things about, well, if you're over 50 or you're over 40 or over 60. And my take on these articles is it doesn't matter what your age is. What's important is that you need to continue to exercise throughout your life. And it helps you to think more clearly and having a level of flexibility that allows you to do things that you like to do. Maybe it's playing basketball, or maybe it's going to the gym and working out. Maybe it's playing with the grandkids or the kids. Maybe it's playing, I used to go to LA Fitness and see a basketball league there every Sunday morning. And they're probably from high school to maybe 60 years old. So staying moving and continue to be active is important to us no matter what our age is. So here's an orthopedic certified specialist talking about movement. Movement is essential for living on your terms. It helps you with strength, mobility, your mood, my goodness, keeping active and exercising, and your brain health. And so the article talks about some of the questions that are raised by people to this board-certified orthopedic, Dr. Matt Kovalchik, K-O-V-A-L-C-H-I-C-K, Kovalchik. So it's a great article that the doctor has put here in the UCLA newsletter. Why does exercise matter beyond weight loss and muscle building? In reality, exercise keeps us moving, thinking clearly, and living as independently as possible, regardless of what our age is. And so it's not just a vanity project. Movement is the foundation that supports, now watch this, what's your everyday living, cognitive vitality. Now who thinks of exercising cognitive vitality? And it's a simple, powerful truth that applies to mobility, which is you use it or lose it, and therefore staying physically active in some minor way. People are thinking, oh, I got to go run an hour and go do a marathon race. No, the research is coming back saying 5 to 10 minutes is just, if you do that every day, you get out 10 minutes, take a walk. The science is not coming back and saying you have to be a muscle builder or you have to be a weightlifter. And so weight loss and muscle building is an issue, but the fact that you're staying active has regular movements supporting cognitive vitality and your overall quality of life. Now, how does it preserve our mobility? So what does it do to do this? So as we get older, and this we start 30 years old if we want to be that crazy about it. The research shows that the process shows that we begin to decline in our muscle fabrics, even as early as 30, 40 years old. And so research shows the process can be slowed through regular strengthening. So doing some regular, I see more and more people with 3 and 5 pound dumbbells and doing curls and doing different things, laying on a bench and lifting up and things. Doing stomach crunches and things. Again, none of these need to be overly complicated. So you can slow it, and you can even reverse it through regular strengthening. What do you do? So I have 5 pound dumbbells that I use, and I do different 4 or 5 different exercises. I do some with the bands. There's such a diversity of what you can do, and what the resistance training does, it helps keep your bones and muscles strong, while stretching and mobility keeps your joints mobile. And again, people think, well, because you're a senior or whatever. No, it doesn't matter. If you I go to LA Fitness and watch these mobility classes, these flexibility classes. There's people in there probably from their teens, 21s, to seniors, and they're all doing the same type of exercise. The resistance training keeps your bones and muscles strong, while strengthening keeps your joints mobile, right? So the goal is to move freely without having limitations. Our nerves and muscles learn familiar tasks through repetition, and when we stop doing those, the pattern becomes rusty. So who stops and thinks about, my goodness, we get up and we get about our day every day. We get in, and maybe we get wash up, we shower, get dressed, and off we go. Well, can we find some time to put some physical activity? What type of movement can we do? His next question is, how does physical activity affect cognitive well-being and mood? It supports your brain. My goodness. Exercise increases, as people understand, our brain is using up 20 and 25% of our blood flow and supplies. So exercise increases blood flow, and it supports your memory, focus, and triggers the release of brain-derived factors that help protect the brain as we age. And he calls them B, D, and F, brain-derived neurotrophic factors. One of the most effective tools we have for mood and lowering stress, improving our sleep, is having some exercise. It provides clarity and a calmness to us. It builds confidence and mental strength by helping us push through hard things and hard times, making it vital for the mind and the body. And I have found, kind of my day and my life experiences, whenever I get into this intense mode or stress and I'm starting to be concerned about something, I find that if I go out and run or I get to the pool and do some laps in the pool, my whole mental state, it just gets better. And I move through that stress, which is locking me down, and I'm able to function a lot better. My mind is much clearer. And so how does physical activity affect cognitive well-being? Boy, I've lived through that through my life and experiences it. And so I find that jogging, walking, going through a neighborhood, 5 minutes even, makes a world of difference. We have targets. So now how do we find time or motivation, right? The recommended target is 150 minutes, which I think is crazy, but you can break it down into 10-minute walks. The critical part is making movement a part of your daily routine. So now, one of the things I've learned in terms of doing that on busy days is I'll always watch an hour or two of television in the evening. Maybe it's a basketball game, maybe it's now baseball season's coming in, but I have TV time almost every day. And I do my physical activities. I have a couple of exercise flexibility programs. I do them watching TV. So rather than sitting on the couch or sitting in the lounge, I get up and I do 15 or 20 minutes of physical movement. So I'm not just sitting down and plopping down for 2 hours. It also helps me restrict any snacking that I may be doing. So it helps me in that regard also. But trying to find the motivation, I look at it and say, if you recognize it and the importance of what it's doing for your body, your muscles, your flexibility, your mental functions, your social interactions, boy, it's easy to get up and do it versus just sitting there and saying, God, I just want to sit and watch this TV program. So having some flexibility movements and some stretches and things, not a bad thing to do while you're watching television. So here's some exercises he recommends. Heel to toe walking. Walking heel to toe trains coordination, balance, and keeps your body responsive and steady. Heel to toe walking. That's an interesting concept. Walking forward, if you're on a tightrope, placing one foot in front of the other, making sure the heel of one foot touches the toes of the other, taking 10 to 20 steps on your toes, then take 10 to 20 steps on your heels. Repeat this sequence 3 times. It's an interesting process. I had never thought of it that way. And then sit to stand. Sit in a chair. So I do this at times. I'll do 15 to 20 of these, sitting in a chair, not holding on to the arms and getting up. Now I've recently added 3-pound weights to my arms, so 3 pounds in each hand, and then I'm going up to 5 pounds now. Sitting down and getting up without holding on to the chair. So there are things that we can do that make a big difference in our mobility, in our flexibility, but my interest is always in our mental capacities. Obviously, looking at the USA Memory Championship and what our mental athletes have done to help their brains be able to compete in a competition is always important. So I found it very interesting. It's the March issue of Healthy Years coming out of UCLA Health. And I found the article that was put together by Dr. Matthew Kovalchik. He's orthopedic board certified. I thought his article was very helpful and useful, and thought I would share it with my Live with Tony audience. And we're already into Wednesday of the first week of March, and we'll see you back here on Friday.